Hello, I'm Benjamin Coy, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
And hello, I'm Rebekah Laur'en, Team Rayceen Productions, co-host and moderator.
Joining us is Ahmed. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So, Ahmed, please share with our viewers a little about your background, who you are, and what you do.
All right, thank you. Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Ahmed Al-kadri, otherwise known as Ahmed Loves Bread on Instagram. I am a Yemeni American comedian. I was raised in Dallas, Texas, started my comedy career out there, but moved to LA a little over 5 years ago. As of March of 2022, I've been a touring comedian, just touring all around America as well as the world now. I'm, just doing some European cities here and there. It's been such a blessing. And on my spare time, I like to hike and bike around LA. During the daytime, I sometimes work as a bike or hike tour guide. As you can see, this picture of me is hiking at the Pacific Coast Trailhead in like around Orange County area. But yeah, that is like definitely one of my biggest hobbies, like just to do around LA. I just love the nature that they provide here.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, before we talk about anything else, before we really get into it, why does Ahmed love bread? Like, really walk us into that.
Okay. So this is what had happened was I used to be Ahmed. Okay, it was first Ahmed Al-kadri, and I couldn't be like, hey guys, like after I finished my performance, I'm like, okay guys, follow me on Instagram, Ahmed Al-kadri. Like it's gonna be so hard for people to be like, wait, what did he say? Or what did he call me? But like, and then I changed it to Ahmed from Dallas. And then I started like building a following from Instagram and TikTok and stuff and all these brand deals and other stuff. They thought I was in Dallas and it was just confusing everybody, even though it was Ahmed from Dallas, whatever. So I was like, okay, it's time for a name change. I was literally eating a bag of Hawaiian rolls. I was like, I was like, I need something catchy. And I was like, oh, it rhymes. So I was like, okay, Ahmed loves bread. And it could be like a double entendre. It could be actual bread or just money. But I'm not really a money hungry guy, but it works out. And it accidentally became like a beautiful thing. Like now, my fan base, like if you guys follow me, you become a breadcrumb. If you watch my comedy special, you become a breadhead. If you buy merch, you're a purebred. Um, at the end of the day, we're all breadwinners. Oh, and if you're Indian, you're a non-believer. Yeah.
Listen,
I like
listen, it's
it.
all about marketing. I love it. It makes sense
So
though.
so it turned into, yeah, it turned great for it turned great for like this community that I've been trying to build.
Community is so important, certainly, certainly. So you are a Yemeni American who was pursuing a career in comedy, as you shared with us earlier. But which is more challenging? Tell us about being a comedian. Sorry, tell us about being a comedian who is Yemeni American. Is it harder to be a comedian who's Yemeni American, or is it harder to be a Yemeni American who is a comedian?
Yeah, that is, oh my God, that's a great question. Thank you. So I'll start with the first part and then the second part because I actually can give you good answers on both. So as a comedian, at first, like the first few years of my comedy or like the first year, I wasn't even talking about, being Yemeni or being I was just talking like, just first year comedy stuff, like, homeless people or I have cats or I'm an extrovert, stuff like that. Until like one day, like people always thought I was Indian. And my whole life, people thought I was Indian. And then I was just like, no, like I'm Yemeni and people don't know what it is. And I grew up in Texas. There's like no Yemeni community. There's no Yemenis in Texas. Now there is, it's building. But most of the Yemenis are either in Dearborn, Michigan, New York, or Bay Area. And and yeah, like I just started like coming out, like just started talking more about, my identity or where I come from and all that good stuff. And it helped out. And especially like, especially in the industry now, like now it's like some people say, oh, it's harder to be a person of color or woman of color or anything. It's just like now it's just you have everything. You know what I mean? So like there's more comedians more than ever. So it's best to like just try to be as authentic as yourself, be your your most authentic self. And then your second part of like what's it like being a Yemeni American, that's also a comedian. Great question. I love that question. Let me tell you why. Because the Yemenis in America are very like very traditional, very like cultural, most of them conservatives, very like, they don't go to comedy shows. My mom, I love her to death. She wears a burqa and everything, the whole ninja outfit. And she's never been to a movie theater. Like they're not all about like going out for music, like concerts and other stuff. So pretty much my challenge that I've been trying to go through just I mean, fortunately, I do have fans who are not Yemeni, fans from all over. I have, black fans, white fans, Asian fans, all over. But um Yemeni American, I'm trying to get more Yemeni people or more people from the Yemeni American communities to come to comedy shows, to come out and really like explore this art form of stand-up comedy. Because stand-up comedy is it's a very fairly new art form. It started in like the 50s, didn't really blow up until the 80s, maybe the 70s. So even people in America just don't understand stand-up, they just think it's a guy saying legit. They don't understand sarcasm or context. So they just think, oh, they're saying what he means on stage or whatever. But yeah, so I really like that question of just trying to connect this stand-up comedy world and trying to connect the Yemeni American community into that world.
Awesome.
Mm.
Well, in that same line, in the sense of balance, which is what it sounds like you've gotten a good grip
Mhm.
of,
Mhm,
how do
mhm.
you balance your artistry with the business of show business?
Oh my God, guys, that's something I've been trying to figure out. Because it's like, I mean, one of my favorite comedians is Kevin Hart. I always jokingly say that I'm gonna be the Yemeni Kevin Hart. You know what I mean? Because like, just taller and 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 just as goofy. But like what I loved about Kevin Hart is he's a businessman.
Hmm.
And he was one of the first people to break like selling out stadiums, selling out arenas, a stand-up comedian selling out all these seats. So I always found him very fascinating. I guess like one is, I mean, I'm just gonna rattle off a couple things that I'm just trying to figure out myself. Is one is like knowing my worth. It's like, yeah, I work on my stand-up. Yeah, I work on my art form. I know I'm a good comic. I get on stage as much as I can. I release my special. I know my stuff is funny. So I set my worth. I remember like I recently now raised my prices from $20 a ticket to $25 a ticket because it's like I need to make some money. I gotta get that bread. And my bread, not money, bread just to eat. I'm hungry. I need the food. And that's one, like knowing my value. And also it's this is a business. This is an industry. And that's something I'm learning more as a comedian, where when it comes to marketing on social media or like comedy clubs, it's like I mean, I get it. Bookers for comedy clubs, yeah, it's like, yeah, they'll book some random TikToker who's never been on stage before, or like, they'll throw up Nene Leaks on stage, even though she's not a good stand, but it's like, hey, she puts butts in seats, and I get it. This is a business. So that's something I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to be the best comedian I could be and focus on my art, and this is sacred, but also I'm separating like to the marketing. For example, content. Content is not content. Content is content. It's eyeballs. Literally, one of the most viral videos is a cat flipping glass over, or like a drunk dude trying to order McDonald's. It's like it's the internet. Nothing makes sense. So just put yourself out there and hopefully figure something will come. And that's what's been successful for me as a friend. That's how you guys found me. You know what I mean? Like it's probably from a video that I was just like, I don't know, I guess. And it worked out. Um, so I guess like that's the way I've been trying to balance it, where it's like it's a lot of it's just self-confidence. It's like, am I good enough? Do I know? Well, I put in the work. And then also, okay, I'm gonna end it because I feel like I'm gonna go on a rant again. I try not to get attached to the outcome of the algorithm.
Mm.
Don't let your happiness get attached to the outcome of how many likes this post had or how many views this post had. I've been doing this for like I've been posting content consecutively since January of 2021. I've
Mm.
had videos with 15 million views. I've had videos with 10, and I've had videos flop. I put my you know what I mean? So,
Mm.
some videos it was just whatever.
Mhm.
Boom, here you go. Oh, and it
Mhm.
blows up. You're like, okay. At least
Mhm.
and then when you have a viral video, high rise raises all ships, then your other videos that you thought weren't doing well, now people are
Yeah.
loving it. Oh, this is
Mhm.
hilarious. Because it was just buried by the algorithm, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. So, speaking of being a businessman, you made the switch over from an accountant to now working in comedy. What was that transition like, and what was your parents' reaction to it?
Great question. Okay, I have a perfect story for this. So, I started comedy January of 2016. And I was doing like improv comedy and sketch comedy first, and then I started getting into stand-up later that year. It was November of 2016, the week after the election. But anyways, comedy was going great, and I was like, this thing that I'm good at. And the funniest part is, since I was a kid, I knew I was going to be an entertainer. So when I was 18 years old, I literally Googled best degrees to get a job with. Accounting came up. I'm 18 years old. I was like, okay, I'll just figure out this accounting thing until like this. I just knew I'll be an entertainer. I didn't know what or what. I just knew. Found comedy in Dallas Comedy House, got into comedy. Then people were like coming up to me like, hey, you're really funny. I think you're really talented. And that gave me enough confidence to be like, I'm moving to Hollywood, baby. So, yeah, oh yeah, this is gonna go great. But anyways, June, it was like June of 2017. I had got accepted to a master's program for my to get my accounting degree, my master's in accounting, and and I had taken some shrooms with some friends to really, really get going with spirituality. Be like, what do I want in life?
Yeah.
But when it was time to sign up for my classes for my master's, I was just looking at the courses and I was like, I don't want to do this. It does not bring me joy. I don't want to do this. I'm just gonna be miserable again. I'm already working as an accountant. The only thing I looked forward to at my job was to get off work so I could just go straight to the comedy club. And and then it was June 18, 2017. It was my 24th birthday, and it was also Father's Day. And where my Gemini's at? Hey, yo, me, Doja Cat, Kanye, Trump, we're just the best. We're just
Oh,
mentally stable people.
boy.
We're ready to go. So, anyways, it's I'm at my house. My mom makes us a cake for me and my dad, and they wish me a happy birthday. And then my mom goes, Ahmed, you're killing it. Like, you have a degree, you have a great job, you're getting your master's. We found a woman in Washington that we want you to meet to potentially get married. And I was like, Mama, no, I'm not gonna meet her. And then all my brothers are like, wait, what? And like shit's about to go down. And you know what I mean? My dad's like, oh man, the weather app is nice. Let's go look at the weather app. And then like my mom was like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't want to meet her. Like, I think it would be redundant. Because I plan on moving to LA. And you know how people in Texas, Texas just no matter what race, ethnicity, no one in Texas likes California. They don't like the idea of California, none of that. And my mom's like, "What do you mean you're going to LA? Did you find a job?" I'm like, "No, mama. I'm not doing my master's. I'm gonna stop and go move to LA to pursue stand-up comedy." My mom, my immigrant my mom, she starts speaking in Arabic, but she says one phrase in English just to get the point across. She goes, "Ahmed, انت قدك رجال ومعك شغل بعدين شي تروح تبهدل نفسك. Ahmed, you're not even funny." And my brothers are like, ah! Dude, my brothers like it was like wild and out. Like my brother like ran. like ran across the house. One brother started doing push-ups.
Not push-ups.
Oh my goodness.
Brother Hamza, he like went up to, he like put his arm around my mom. He's like, "Oh yeah, yo, she called you a bitch." And then like it was crazy. Yeah. And then my dad, I remember my dad was just like, Ahmed, like I always know you're like, you work really hard, just don't forget who you are, don't forget your identity. And he gave me some good advice. And then he showed me a bunch of clips of Russell Peters. He's like, this guy's really funny. And but yeah, like that is definitely the story of how I came out to my parent to my family that I was gonna pursue comedy. Now, like my dad died 2 years ago of COVID, but so he never really got to see me like where I am now. I wish he did. But like before at the funeral, people were coming up to me and be like, "Oh, you're the comedian." So my dad was a philanthropist, and during the board meetings of those charity organizations he was working on, apparently he was playing like a 5-minute clip on YouTube that I had. And knowing my dad, I know it's very sweet, but knowing my dad, I'm pretty sure my dad was like watching the video and then looking straight at his friends to see the reaction to see if it was good. But yeah, he was like, but people were telling me that he was like smiling from ear to ear, like he was like very proud. And my mom now, like, I think she just tolerates my comedy. Like again, my mom's not like a fan. Like she will see like certain clips of so like I will show her and I'm like, "Hey, what do you think of this one?" She's like, "Okay, yeah, that's funny." Um, but my mom just like she's just so unfazed. It's not even like an Arab thing. It's just my mom's thing. Just
Got you.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah.
Well, that is awesome to hear your story about that, of the coming out as a comedian, and you being a business person. Clearly, you have paved your own path. So, in terms of that, I do want to ask you to tell us about the Monday Fun Day podcast.
Cool. Yeah. So the Monday Fun Day podcast, what I started in 2022, right when I quit my accounting job. And basically it's started a couple of things. One is to have, my breadheads and breadcrumbs to follow my journey as a comedian and as a full-time comedian. And also I start every episode with, well, I mean, sometimes I miss it, but we start every episode with one question to my guest. What's a good piece of advice you were given? Who told it to you? And where were you in your life when you were given that piece of advice?
Mm-hmm.
And and uh and and then they're just, and I love that question so much, is because especially in this day and age you have so many pieces of advice just being thrown at you, from the internet to a random person on the street, you know or to some random person who thinks they know your life, but every piece of advice really connects you in a certain manner, or where were you in your life when you're like, oh my God, I really needed to hear this, and I love bringing that up. Like, for example, I'm trying to think, like, oh, I know the perfect situation. It was like July, in the summer of 2022. Again, I had just quit my job and I was like, just so I was obviously like so anxious, but I had a lot of fear because I
Mm-hmm.
was, and regret. I was like, what am I doing? Like, am I gonna make it, or if everything's gonna go well? Like, do I have what it takes? And then like my friend Tim Murray, he like put his hands on my shoulders. He was like, listen, fear is 1,000 feet wide and 1,000 feet high, but it's only a paper thin. You just have to
Mhm,
break through the fear. And that
mhm.
was something I just needed to hear that moment at that time in my life,
Mm-hmm.
But if I go ahead and tell someone else, they're like, "What are you talking? I'm at Starbucks. What do you want me to?" It's like I'm ordering a coffee. I'm not scared. What are you talking about? But yeah, even I'm sure you guys have something like,
Mm-hmm.
everyone has like a certain piece of advice at a certain moment in their life, and I like to get that. I want people, my guests, to share that with me. Mhm.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I will certainly be tuning in. I'm a podcaster myself, and so I will definitely be picking that up and sharing that with all my friends as well. Now, switching gears a bit, please tell the viewers briefly a little about your new your new stand-up comedy special. Yes, let's hear about it.
Yes, thank you. Yes. So as y'all know, I'm this is all on my own. I don't have an agent or a manager. And obviously like we live in this industry. It's not even comedy anymore, music, anything. It's like what they want is butts and seats. So you have to like prove that you are profitable. That's what the
Hmm.
industry wants now. It's
Hmm.
it's I especially, and I know I don't, especially if you're a person of color. I mean, and let's just be real here. But that's just how it is. Like no one knows or care. So basically, I've been touring by myself, building my following, doing all that good stuff, and I was headlining in DC last November at Room 808, and I'll be back there soon. And I had some cameras out, and fortunately we sold out those rooms, and I was like, yo, how about we just set up a bunch of cameras and let's just tape this whole set. It's going to look professional. And I call it special, not special, because it's like, it is special. It's an hour. It looks good. It's shot right, but it's not necessarily special. It's really just like, it's like a calling card. And it's like more to add to my resume to be like, and to legitimize myself as a comedian. So when people go, "Oh, you're a comedian?" Yeah, I have my special out on YouTube. You can watch it. Ahmed Al-kadri, special, not special. It is now at 6K views, or almost 5.9. That's almost there. It's almost there. And yeah, it's they just honestly get my name out there. And that special basically just answers a question: who is Ahmed Al-kadri?
Mm.
While you're smiling the whole time. But it's like, it's who is Ahmed Al-kadri? It's like, I'm this goofy guy that grew up in Dallas, Texas, and I'm a Yemeni American comedian. And from my upbringing to, I don't really have like observational, but just very silly type of humor. And that is something I just wanted to share with the world. And I'm very proud of it.
Mm. Well, congratulations to you. That is a very big deal. So I know everybody wants to know more about you. So in the vein of that, please tell our viewers how they can learn more about you and what's coming up, including where they can see you perform live.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. So, I'm based in Los Angeles. So, if you are in LA, feel free to just DM me and I'll DM you like the shows I have. Actually, actually June 14th is my next Ahmed and Friend show at the Hollywood Improv. So, definitely come check that out. And I will be back on tour. Yes, thank you. I will be in Detroit House of Comedy April 21st. Washington, D.C. I'm back April 26th. April 28th, I'm in New York City. May 4th, I'm in Houston. May 11th, Austin. May 17th, San Antonio. May 24th, Dallas. And then May 31st and June 1st, I'll be in Fort Worth, Texas. This is my little spring tour coming up. In July and during the summer of July, me and my friend Sammy Obeid, who's also a great comedian, will be touring Europe together from London, Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin, Dublin. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to be my second Europe tour, our second Euro tour. And then in the fall, if you are a listener and you want me to see and you want to see me, definitely DM me or at least give me your email. That way I could see which city I could come hit for the fall. I'm working on my fall tour sometime next month or and yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep on going, keep on keeping on. And as I tape all those shows from the tour, definitely it'll be more moments from crowd work to new jokes that I'm working on, little snippets of my new hour. So yeah.
Got you. Now, before we wrap, what venue in DC will you be at? Because that's where we're based. So, where are you going to
Yes.
be in DC?
Yeah, I will be in room 808.
Okay.
Yes, it's called room 808. It's like a small little venue. I like it because it's nice and I don't know the word. But it's very small and it's intimate, yeah.
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
And there is no 2 drink minimum. It's a bring your own drink. So you can which people do all the time. I'm doing the 8 p.m. show and the 10 p.m. show that I'll be headlining. Definitely come check it out. Yeah, guys, I would love to come hang out with you. If y'all come to the 10 p.m. show, that'd be great because then we could all go out after and hang out, talk about our feelings. So, yeah.
Nice. And they can
All
find,
right.
can we find tickets on your website? What's the website?
Yes, my website is ahmedlovesbread.com.
Okay.
Awesome.
Or if you go on my Instagram at Ahmed Loves Bread, the link is in my bio. It takes me to my Beacons page. But either way, you could find tickets on my website, ahmedlovesbread.com.
Perfect, perfect. Well, viewers, please look in the description below for links. Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to see you when you get here. Enjoy. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to meet y'all.
To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media and subscribe to the Team Rayceen YouTube channel.
Viewers, thank you for watching.